Nah, man, great points, great points. I'm glad you're saying that because that's kind of why I've been teaching my kids when I get a chance. They like my youngest son, he's learning, how to program a little bit, and it's tailored towards games. So he plays the
Yeah.
old Roblox and all that stuff, but he also is learning how to code those games, and that's a good thing. And then
Yeah.
my oldest son, he plays. I mean, he's learning kind of the graphics design part, which is like Blender, and making the characters, building the characters, and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that stuff is very important because my oldest son, he's into video games as well. I'm like, dude, you can play the games all you want. I used to play games back in the day too, but I tell my son, what if I had to learn how to make the games?
Yep.
Well, what if I was one of them people who made the game, sold it to EA Sports or whatever? We'd be sitting around here riding around in Lamborghinis or something right now.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, think about all the opportunities that can come from you actually making something that you're passionate about. Because like I tell everybody, everybody thinks when you enter IT, I think people think on this grandiose scale of becoming the next Mark Zuckerberg, making a whole platform that directly impacts how people think and maneuver and act. And that's cool, but I always say Mark Zuckerberg started off in the dorm room in Harvard. Like when nobody knew who Mark Zuckerberg was, he spent hours coding this website up for the two twins that came up with the idea originally until it became this this monstrosity that it is today. But so there's just so many applications that, like I said, if you like playing video games, keep playing them. But if you got kids, see if they're interested in the other side of video games, not just the front end where they're looking at it and clicking it, but see if they might be interested in the back end. Because my father works in IT, right? He works in IT as well. So it's my father, my youngest brother, and me. My father always comes over and gets my oldest son. Like, matter of fact, my dad, he just got finished. He got a new house and he was in there building a home entertainment system. And, from scratch, the whole computer and all that crap. He brought my son over there and had my son help him build this thing with him. So now my son, even though he doesn't understand what he's doing, I mean, he understands what he's doing, but he doesn't see down the line. It's like, dude, you're doing things. You're over here learning about motherboards and all these various components, and you're actually building stuff and putting it together. Like, dude, if you get really good at this, you could be the man out in these streets by the time you're 18 years old, to where you can go get a job or start your own business installing other people's stuff.
Yep.
Like it's just so like I said, if you're a parent out there with kids and you want them to kind of consider this, introduce, look at what your kids like to do. They like to play games, they like to do this, they like to do that. Great, that's fine and dandy. But just slowly try to introduce them to things that are related to that game that deals with IT or something in STEM in general, just to see if it sparks their interest, and because you might be surprised. So just try to do that if you want to work it into your kid's life. So.
Yep. Good advice.